Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Merkakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders like Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And peace and salutations to the elect out there feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai with sincerity, truth, and with charity. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, in which the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem means in the name of, and Yahushai is the true name of the Son, in which the world ignorantly calls JC. His true name is Yahushai. And once again, Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. I'm the brother Barak, and I'm going to be speaking about today, basically, what? I'm going to read it right here. It says, hardworking man shares his pay stub showing he makes $160 after child support. Right? This is showing you we will not have it good on this side. Right? We will not have it good on this side. And what I'm speaking about is, in this lifetime that where we're living in these fleshly mortal bodies, right? Where we're living in before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai comes back, right? You don't expect to be having some great fucking life with a white picket fence, with a house full of family and 5 wives, everything in order, because that's not going to happen on this side. Realistically, it's not going to happen. Yes, Isaiah 4:1 will happen on this side, right? Where 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. Right, meaning a 7, meaning a complete number of women, right? But that's when all hell's gonna break loose. Then that's really when these people are gonna get in order, right? And I'm mainly speaking to you so-called, Negro, Latino, Native American women, right? You Israelite women, because these are the women, especially the Southern Kingdom. These are the women that are completely out of order right now. Right, I'm gonna bring out this precept I have on my screen. I'll show it on the computer. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Let's bring out the KJV. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Right? What is that referring to? It's referring to before America, Babylon the Great. Right before we get delivered out of America, Babylon the Great, right through those chariots, right, and when we get those new spiritual bodies, right, Lord willing, we are those men. We're after that, after the Lord comes back, then then it's going to be the rest of the Israelites, right? Got this precept, another precept. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 1. It says, "Again the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, Thus said the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus said the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. And thus said the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof." Right? "Thus said the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, said the Lord of hosts." Right? So in the kingdom, there's going to be a lot of there's going to be the Israelites are going to be prosperous, right? And they're going to be able to create a lot more children. There's not going to be no more child support. Your children are going to be able to run around in the streets, have superpowers, right? Without some dude coming up to them, shooting them, right? Shooting them with an RPG, right? Driving by them, shooting them with a pistol, right? You know, or Keisha's not going to be putting you on child support, vexing you, right? You know, I'm going to repeat it again. It says, and the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus said the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, said the Lord of hosts. So in the kingdom, there's not going to be no child support, right? There's not going to be no Keisha trying to charge you $1,000, then, you know, trying to take your kids from you, trying to turn your kids against you, you know, because that's what a lot of these Keishas be doing in the first place, right? And they try to make their you know, their baby daddy, their father, whatever case it might be. They try to turn their father against children against their father, right? I'm gonna read Micah 7 verse 10. It says that, then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Right? So these women, they're going to be trodden down. Their shame's going to cover them, you know? Because a lot of these women, they were scoffing at the men of the Lord, mocking. But they were in the same spirit of Job's wife, right? You know, scoffing at Job, right? So it's the same thing. You know, and a lot of these women, they're just destroyed out here, right? Except for you sincere sisters listening and learning, right? Calling on the name Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai with sincerity and with truth, right? But, you know, for the rest of these women, they're going to be destroyed. And, you know, I have this screenshot right here, and it shows this child support. You know, this is just proof that it's not going to be good on this side, right? I'm going to show the screenshot. It says, hardworking man shares his pay stub showing he makes $160 after child support, right? Because Keisha, let's be real, this is most likely a Keisha. The support order, $600, $425, $310, $275. And this is why, bro, you're not going to, on this side, right, you're not going to have it, you know, it's not going to be an order in this side. You know, until the Lord causes chaos, calamity, and, you know, until mainly Isaiah 4:1, right? Until then, which we're seeing the signs of these things happening now. Until all hell breaks loose, right? And shame will cover these women, right? You know, and they realize they have to get into order, right? And ultimately, that's going to happen when the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai causes this place for all hell to break loose. To where these women, they will go to the men of the Lord, right? Let's bring this. Man shall more precious. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 13:12. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And that's speaking about the men of the Lord. It's not speaking about these lackadaisical, you know, Christian, you know, these you know, six-pack Joe from across the street. Not speaking about fucking Daquan, you know, fucking, you know, these different gang members, different, you know, fucking, just people in the world. It's not speaking about that. It's speaking about the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know, and his elect, right? His elect men, right? And so, you know, these women, they're obviously, you know, they're taking advantage of, you know, a lot of people. They're taking advantage of men, right? Charging them for child support, making them pay for, you know, stupid things, right? And ultimately, in the kingdom, you're going to be able to have, you know, many wives and concubines, right? And there's not going to be no more fucking child support. And all that shit's going to be gone, right? I'm going to read this. 1 Corinthians 7, verse 29. It says, "But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that those who have wives should be as though they had none." Right? Because ultimately, what? The time is coming where it's going to be ultimately a burden. Right? It's going to be a burden to, have one of these, nasty, dirty, whining, complaining bitches. When all hell breaks loose, you don't want that. You want to be focusing on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You're doing all the work you can, and then and then you're in the kingdom. Right, when we get beamed up, and when we get beamed up into those chariots, right, those chambers, right, and we get those new spiritual bodies. Then we're gonna be able to have these women, right. But for a lot of you, right, Apostle Paul was saying it. He says, it remaineth that those who have wives should be as though they had none, right? And that's because a lot of these women, like I have put in the screenshot, they're going to be a burden, or they're going to be a distraction, right? Like I said earlier, they're going to try to make your kids turn against you, try to file you for child support, And a lot of these women, they're going to end up taking the chip anyway, because they believe this society is going to still go on, right? But ultimately, they're going to get destroyed, right? But that's a completely different topic for a different video. Remember, we got one final precept. This is the book of Isaiah 26 and 20. It says, "Come, my people, enter thou in thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as if for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast." Right? And those chambers are those chariots of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? Because they're going to come down and basically with what? They're going to come back with laser fire, right? While those thermonuclear fires are also going to be hitting America, Babylon the Great. And then after that, we're established a kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? But for now, we just have to endure unto the end, right? Let's bring that out, actually. Endure to the end. And Matthew chapter 24 and 13, it says, But he that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? So with that, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Merkach Radash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and salutations to the elect feeding the sheep of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.